computer. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the March 2023 Living in Place Institute Community Forum. We're really privileged today to have two wonderful people, Shari McPeek and Shawn Sommer. I'm going to let them introduce themselves here shortly. But this session is being recorded, so if you want to come back to it later, it should be up on our website and most likely going to be in a new upcoming newsletter here in about 7 days. And then, okay, so I'm the moderator. I'm the president and founder of Living in Place Institute. And a couple things you see off on the right side is we have rebranded ourselves. We now have new logos that are more applicable to what we're all about. And again, we've been working with a really neat marketing guy named Mark Gillespie, who has helped recreate our branding for ourselves. And if you ever want to contact me, my email address is there. Whoops, I'm sorry, let me go back. My email address is there and my phone number. If you want to take a screenshot, go for it. I'll leave it up here for a little second more. But the next slide is our ground rules that we have as to basically everybody be nice and courteous and play, be nice in everybody's sandbox. We like to basically make this all inclusive because we have a lot of different people who attend these. So the first one is I'll advance the slides for you, Shawn. Just let me know when you want to move forward. But we've got Shawn Sommer of Span, and he's got some neat products to show you today. Oh, excuse me, wrong. It's Shari McPeek that's first. And she also has some unique products.
Well, thank you. Shari McPeek. I am CLIP certified. Marketing services manager for Rev-A-Shelf. Been here for in Trusco Lighting for 17 plus years. I do our public relations. I do all our photography. So you see the various images, taking those on the majority. Specified products for charitable organizations, Harbor House, Homes for Our Troops, and had been a 15-year Kentucky and NKBA board member, looking to introduce myself to that next year. My 2-year hiatus is officially over for them. So I'm looking to get back into that. So, and out of Louisville, Kentucky, that's where we're headquartered at. So first, and I apologize, the market idea was more Canada and US. I know we do have international people, so this is kind of skewed towards that. So I apologize in advance. So first, I just want to go over to who your market is. According to AARP's Home Community Preferences Survey, 70% of adults 50 plus want to remain in their homes for the long term. So that's great for us as CLIP certified people. And the number of households headed by people age 65 and older is expected to grow from 34 million to 48 million in the next 2 decades. So that's a whole lot for us. Go ahead and move forward. So non-conventional housing is in our future. For what's to come, obviously, you guys see apartment complexes going up all the time. Rent is becoming some issues in some areas, that type of thing. But AARP survey of respondents age 50 and older, 80% of them own their own home, and 51 have no mortgages. So they want to stay in them. They don't have the mortgage payment, so they can use that money to more customized and living in place their homes. However, again, talking about rent and such, the Urban Institute predicts an increase in renters. The number of renters, as you see here, 65 plus will grow from 7.4 million in 2020 to 12.9 by 2040, with a particularly large increase among older African-American adults. Next slide, please. So what does that mean for us, and what can we do, or what can you do? So look for opportunities in retirement residences. We're working with one in Canada where a gentleman is putting up a community, and it is putting Rev-A-Shelf products. So that way they are geared towards living in place and senior living. It's designed, again, living in places, not just older or disabilities. It's as you want to stay in the home and modify it to do that. Specify products that are easily installed and removed. Here you can see we have some like drop-in units that are easily to take out, so not an issue in rental communities or rental places. If it's 100% rental, like obviously condos and stuff like that, you can pretty much do what you want to do. But if you are working with someone who is in a rental situation, you can always check with their leasing agents and then make sure that you get signed documents saying that you can add items like with limited screws, like you have like some pull-out bins that can be added with 4 screws. You're showing a waste container here. Obviously, you know, as we all know, putting the waste container in the cabinet frees up walking space, less trip issues, that type of thing as well. So those are all things that you can look at doing.
So Shari, question for you. I see these things that you drop in. That's just great. The organizer you have in the top left, is that something that can just be dropped into a drawer?
It is, yes. It's a panel that's on the bottom. It can be cut to size. And it has pegs to it. The pegs come with it. We also have it in a vinyl gray if you're more contemporary for, you know, full access type of cabinets. We do sell the accessories separate that you see here, that have like for the lid holders and stuff like that, but you can use it to store dishes and plates and mugs and different things like that. But yes, it is cut to size and you just drop it right into the drawer.
Cool.
So easy to remove. So topper crusts and Rev-A-Shelf. I'm going to slide my notes up here real quick. As hopefully most of you know about us, Rev-A-Shelf will be celebrating our 40th anniversary next year. And throughout that time, we've always kept our finger on the pulse of design, functionality, and accessibility. And looking at this year's KBIS releases that we're going to show you, you can clearly see that in our new and redesigned products. Top request, I pulled these from House and different places as far as what people are requesting be added to their home. So that's how it's in reference to it. So next slide. So number one, pantry. Obviously, you know, during COVID, people were, you know, buying great amount of items and the pantry rooms were very, very, you know, successful. You're starting to see more designs in that. However, not everybody has the room for a pantry. So a pull-out pantry is really something that you can add. It is accessible from both sides, various heights. So that way, you know, you have the shorter ones, if you have someone that's in a wheelchair situation, that type of thing, or vertically challenged, as I heard earlier, similar to me. But it gives you, lets you look everything at a glance without having to shuffle items around. Homeowners of all ages, you know, so if you have younger children or grandchildren visiting, you can put items down lower for them to access as well. So it's useful. The one that you're showing here is our 448 TPF. It's our tall pantry Filtura. It features a new top and bottom Filtura exclusive design slides for stability. It is soft close. It does come, like I said, in various heights, 43, 51, and 58. And various widths as well. So 5, 8, 11, and 14. We at Rev-A-Shelf try to standardize all of our products to fit the most common cabinetry. So we really have about anything that you need for any size cabinets you have, both full access and face frame. It obviously also, you know, lessens strain on your back and knees when you're having to, you know, dig around in lower items, lower pantries like that, because bringing it more up to your height. Cabinets, I should say. Go ahead.
So one of the things I like about this picture is at the far end of that picture is all drawers.
Yes, 100%. We design, I'm currently in the studio. We designed that kitchen with the reflected. It actually has no wall cabinets except the one above the pantry. So everything is drawers. So obviously pullouts, talked about, you know, a few seconds ago that, you know, strain on your knees and back when you're digging in drawers and that type of thing, you can't really see inside of them. Pullouts, different type pullouts, pull-ups, pull downs. So, you know, if you do have a wall cabinet, we do have pull downs. They've been in the industry forever, so I didn't focus on it here, but they allow you to pull the insides of the cabinet down to you. We also have our mixer lift, that you can use for not just mixers, but you could use for toasters, air fryers, that type of thing as well. It is assist. So you do have to, you know, pull a little bit up on it, but it is soft close. So once you go to lower it, it automatically lowers down. So you don't have to like strain to put it back in or anything like that. You just let it go and it goes back, and it won't smack the back of your cabinet either. Next to that, we have a 4PIL units, or 4WPUT. This one here works on our pilaster system, and it's just the top shelf that we're focusing on, but you can see that you can create custom shelving. So you can actually put this in a tall pantry. You can do like 5 or 6 of these, and you can use it for cereal boxes, dishes, as well as now we have the utensil bin. So you can kind of have one access pantry for not only food, but also your cookware as well. And then next to that, we also have our 4WCOX, which was new at the show, very successful. It is a waste solution, but the containers are BPA free. So what that allows you to do is create a pet station. So you're not having to deal and drag out dog food. You can put those into the bins themselves. If you have someone who, has a small animal that has maybe a caretaker, or, you visit your parents or something like that, you can fill it up for them, and then they can easily get to the food, access it with a scoop. It does have additional rollback container to the side where you can add additional items. You can do leashes, toys, whatever you want. And it does also come with a 1.7 quart OXO container that seals. So that's perfect for your treats and stuff like that. So it's really a cool idea to create a pet center as well, because, most everybody has a pet, and taking care of them is a top priority. They're like kids for a lot of us. So next. So making corners accessible. Can't get away from corners a lot of times, either if it's going to be most of them are blind corners that you have the most problems with. I always call them the Thanksgiving corner, because you're only going to get them to them once a year to pull out that platter that's in the very back. So if you have corner cabinets, obviously, the Lazy Susans, they're available, in wood and polymer, and you really just have your 2-shelf, 2 single shelves that you can make into 2 shelves, all different types. But what I wanted to focus on are 2 products that we had at the show this year that were, again, really, really hot items. On your left, you have our Giocello. That is a pull out. The shelves are adjustable to it. So that's very, very nice. A lot of times you have static shelves or static baskets where you can't move them up and down. This one here, you can as you like. Cool to us is that we now have an item that fits a 12-inch opening. So this one comes for 12, 15, and 18. It does have a solid bottom to it, which is also nice, and installs with ease. It doesn't have a ton of screws and stuff like that. So it's very easy to install. It is Italian designed as well. So a very beautiful product. Next to that, we have our PSP Elite. Yeah, there we go. Which features independent shelves. So, or baskets. A lot of times, you can have them where they pull out and it's the 2 baskets, and then, you can't really see what's underneath it or access what's underneath it very easily. So this one here actually slides back, allowing you to access the products underneath with ease. Solid bottom as well. This one is available with a maple solid bottom or a gray, and it is for 15 or 18-inch openings. Soft close as well. Soft close is huge on our products. So next. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know. I know I'm limited on time, and I don't I don't want to take up too much of Shawn's as well. So as Louis mentioned before, choose drawers, not doors. 100%. Drawers display all the. Oh, Mary, did you have a question? Okay, maybe not. Maybe she just joined us. So I just saw her name pop up. Drawer displays all your contents at once, which allows for easy access, obviously, easy viewing to see what you have. No need to get on the ground and peer in the back of a cabinet to see what's back there. And you can utilize large drawers to store really anything, cookware, you name it. You can store, large items in there as well. Drawers wider than 30 inches can now store plenty of items. Here you see our 4WDIB, which is new. It's the top item there. It can be cut to size. It also drops in and it secures to the cabinet with just a few screws. So 2 screws in the back, 2 screws in the front. So that way it's nice and stable. And you can use the dividers and adjust them however you like. Here I have a snack / lunch drawer, which is great for kids, perfect height for kids as well. Everything in one place. You can also use this for Tupperware, or I even have accessed it or propped it, that is, for a craft room as well. It is available in standard drawer, 24, 30, and 36-inch deep drawers. And then below that, we have our plate insert as well. This is a drop-in as well. You cut it down to size, and it has a place for a set of plates. So that way, by them being, angled, you can grab one at a time. You don't have to try to dig, lift. Like a lot of people have their smaller ones on top of their larger ones. And so they're having to lift that one up and then pull, and that creates strain, obviously to the arms and to the back and that type of thing and reaching. So this just allows very easy access with limited strain.
So Shari, how I know how a lot of people sell having drawers is to say, you probably have a child or grandchildren, and maybe their chore today is to set the table. And it's like, honey, here's where all the plates and the bowls are. I need you, where there's going to be 5 of us tonight. Will you go grab those? The silverware's in the drawer above it. I'll take care of the glasses for you. That way, it makes it easy for them to be able to do everything. But again, it's also, I like what you're saying in regards to, it's easy for you to be able to reach. You're not bringing them up above your shoulder, because a lot of us have shoulder issues.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. And like I said, when you do stack them, if you have limited space, if you do stack them, sometimes you are having to lift a smaller plate to get to the lower plate. And that obviously creates, some difficulty as well. So, great item here. And like I said, drawers are definitely the thing to be. And some people just, they put them in and then they just have this big drawer and they're not sure what to do with them. There's several things out there that are there for you. Next. So use standard appliances and no frills. So again, some appliances are bulky, or you're having a specialized custom cover for them that stick out, and therefore it creates issues with their trip hazards. I saw this one that it looks like a tomb on top. I'm not quite sure. I was looking for the worst design kitchens, and that one popped up, and I definitely had to share it. It looks like a possible microwave all the way up at the very top. I have no idea how anyone's going to access that, or it might be a TV. Not quite sure. But not sure what that thing in the middle is at all. But that is, obviously creating a reaching issue all in itself. And then the lower one, it's a beautiful kitchen. But as you see, the countertop has sections that jut out, as well as the legs on it. So that's all tripping hazards and such. And just wanted to kind of say that, you can have a customized kitchen with standard cabinets, again, using accessories, right? So it's customized to you, your needs, what you need, without actually having a custom cabinet kitchen. So when you have people come to you and say, I really want this custom kitchen and I want this and this and this, you can kind of say, hey, look, do you want it to be, it can be beautiful and the same, but let's take out some of these things that probably aren't best for the long haul, if you will. And, spend some of that money, not on the corbels or whatever, but, actually putting in accessories that allow the kitchen to function for the homeowner. So, and then next one. So accessibility is for all rooms in the home. And, a lot of people, when they say Rev-A-Shelf, they think of kitchen, right? Of course, because that's kind of where we started. We were Rev-A-Shelf, which was the Susans. And we have obviously grown into a company that provides for, laundry, closet, bathroom, pantry, you name it. So I want to kind of share some items with you, again, that were new released at KBIS. So we had our drying drawer. normally, you have like the really flimsy ones that you have to kind of put together, or your drying rack is going to be something that you have to put into your tub, and you have to like, go and bend over it, and you still have to put it in there and that type of thing. So looking at different needs and wants that people had requested, one was a drying accessory. And so we came out with a drying drawer. It fits a 24-inch opening, and it actually unfolds, giving you 18 linear feet of drying, and then folds up. It does have special sections to it that allow you to angle it. Like if you see here in the picture, you see we have some hanging, we have some flat drying, and then we also have you can put pants or whatever to dry in the middle as well. That was a huge success at the show. So with that, just, think of laundries too, hampers, tilt outs, different things like that. The hamper in the middle is really nice because it pulls out, but that basket actually comes with you. Now, this is a closet, but you could obviously put it into a laundry room if you wanted to. And this allows you to take everything with you. So you can, walk up to it, grab it and take it. Very lightweight. It's not, heavy at all. Obviously, it's what you put in it, but just very easy to access, pulls out. And the one thing I wanted to talk about on that is that we are now coming out with a matte black line for the closet. So very excited. That's going to be out, I want to say maybe in May or June. So be looking out for that. It's a finish that people have been asking for and that we wanted to bring more to the market. And then finally, I have a 445 pull out here. This one here holds, accessories at the bottom. It has a place for your hair dryer, your hair curler. We do have another version, 445 as well, that actually has a plug in it. And that's really great because now you're not having to reach over your counter to get to a plug. And it's all within. It does, it won't let you shut it with anything plugged in. So there's not a safety issue of you leaving something on at that point. I think in Canada, this is something that I think has to work out through code because I don't believe that you can have the electrical within the cabinets. But so this would be another option here. The one you see here is a 445, again, allowing you to access hair curlers, dryers, that type of thing, all in one place at a nice level. Next. Last but not least, lighting. I won't go into a lot of lighting because I know that Trusco Lighting, which is also under Rev-A-Shelf, had a forum last month. Thank you, Louis, for having us do that. But I didn't want to leave without saying something about it. So here, as an example of a kitchen, you have soffit lighting, you have, above cabinet lighting, under cabinet lighting. So I kind of want to go into a little bit on that. So next slide. Oh, that's a thank you. Okay, go back one. I'm sorry, Louis.
That's okay.
Okay, so on cabinetry, one of the things that we talked about earlier with any cabinet is the whole situation of access and viewing and that type of thing. So especially in like if you have a Susan cabinet, right? So that one's not going to pull out to you, right? You're not going to be able to pull the items out to where you have the light above you shining on those. So a great thing to do is look at adding lighting inside the cabinet. So that way, if you don't have good visibility, that's going to amp, get it, lighting amp, that up. And allow you easier visibility to access the items. You can do that also in some drawers. If again, anything that really that you can't pull out to the light of day, that you probably want to add some kind of lighting to it. Remember that ambient and task lighting, you really need both. So you can, look at lights that are on dimmers, so that way you can, dim it down to create a certain ambiance and then brighten it up based on what you need. Obviously, as we get older, we need more light. We need more task lighting. So under cabinet lighting is very important as well. There's several different types. You can use tape, puck lights, a mix and match, however you like. With our Tresco, we do offer a free layout service for you. So you can send us your 2020 design or Pro Kitchen or whatever it is, and send it to us, and we can help you lay out lighting that you need, where best to place it at, and then give you a complete list of, the products that you'll need in order to get that vision. Additionally, wireless is very important. Not everybody has wireless. Smart home technology. I know that Swidget is working with Louis on the house as well, and we are a partner with Swidget. Swidget is basically an outlet that you can install. If you're not aware of it, you can install it, and then it has various, I'll say ports, if you will, that you can trade out or change out very easily, just like a pinch, and you can pull it. And they have anything from, if you want to add a nightlight, USB. Louis, what are some of the ones that they're adding for you?
They have quite a number. They have motion sensing, they have temperature, humidity, particle sensing, they have a water sensor. So like underneath your sink, you want to monitor if there is any leak going on there. They have a means to be able to sense if a sump pump is running, but it's not really doing anything. It basically is monitoring how long that pump is running. And if it's going like more than, say, 2 minutes, that would be really excessively long for it. They would notify you. They have all sorts of, they call them recipes as to how to be able to use their stuff. It's, it's not only outlets that Shari mentioned, it's also switches that they have. Single pole and also single way, 3-way switches. They're going to be on one of the upcoming community forums, and I'm going to let probably be Sonu Palaskar who will be on this. She's really, really knowledgeable about their products, so I don't want to steal too much of their thunder, but they're really quite amazing. I got a few of them to be able to put into the rental house that I'm in, to be able to start, if you will, kicking the tires with them to see what they can do. So but the neat thing about it is it's all something that you can put in place in an existing home. You don't have to do any additional wiring. Everything is Wi-Fi with that.
Yes. And I know that there's some conversation here. Barbara and Danny had already mentioned it, but Swidget is SWIDGET. And I think there was another question there about their camera. Yes, I do. They do have a camera. Not sure if they fully released it yet or not. I know it was a conversation, so that's why I didn't mention it. But since someone mentioned it, I will say yeah. So really, that's it for Rev-A-Shelf. Tried to go quick. We have tons and tons of products. What you saw were just a few of the KBIS releases. And want to thank you again for having us. These are the various sites that you can find us on. And of course, if you want to take a picture of it and email me or call me with any questions, I'll be happy to assist you.
All right. Shari, once again, thank you. You're amazing. Absolutely appreciate you. All right. So we're going to move on to, here's this other page. I forgot about this page. You've got these references that if people want to take a screenshot of this,
Yes.
or wait for the recording to come up.
Sure.
So I'm going to pause here for another 10 seconds or so, leading into Shawn Sommer of Span. So I'm going to advance it now. Okay, Shawn, all yours.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Name's Shawn Sommer. I'm the director of sales for Span. We have created a new energy management system that replaces your current breaker box that's in your home to give you better energy management. I've been in the industry a little over 20 years, half of which on the home builder side with large production and custom homes, and the other half on supply side. So I've got a little bit of a different viewpoint on a number of different items. Go ahead and advance. That's me, guys. So if you need my information, that is, please take a screenshot of that. Happy to answer any questions that you have. So we'll go ahead and keep moving.
And if you don't catch it now, it's later on as well.
Perfect. So who are we really? I mean, so we really have, we're down, we actually have 2 SKUs. So we have the Span panel, which is again, a smart update to the traditional electric panel. We have the Span Drive, which is the first dynamic level 2 home EV charger. And we pull all of that data and information into our Span Home app, allowing you to build with, next level energy as we look into the future at our grid resources and, how do we manage the energy that's coming into our home at a better level. Go ahead. So we really kind of look at, again, it does replace your standard electric panel. And a lot of folks go, oh, so you're an electric panel. We go a little bit beyond that. So we're actually, built to all the standards of a standard electric panel. Your gray box, it's typically in your garage or outside your house that has your breakers in it. And we've kind of taken that, and we were actually built also UL 916, which allows us to be an energy management system. Really, it's kind of, we're kind of set ourselves up to be the center of your home's energy ecosystem. We're able to pull the information and give you real-time data at the circuit level from your utility interconnection. Also able to pull in solar, give you battery backup storage, give you insight into your large electric appliances and devices, manage your EV charging at an optimal level, and we pull all that together into the app. And so, as I mentioned, we are an energy management system. So I think it's important when you look at energy management systems that it really kind of hits three key components. It needs to be seamless from a user experience perspective. So you have to have, software that can handle it, and it has to be able to work with, your largest energy consuming appliances. It's got to be robust by design. It's got to be part of it's got to be built to industrial grade hardware. So we do meet very vigorous UL and ANSI standards, part of which because we do work with and tie into your utility companies. And it's got to be simple. It's got to be something that, there's got to be some features that are kind of set and forget. And then it's got to be easy and intuitive to get into it. So we've really tried to take our user interface from the app standpoint and make it as easy as possible to work through. Briefly on just the basic specs and designs, and I think this is important. It is a 200 amp breaker or breaker panel. It does have a 225 amp bus, which does allow you to bring in a little bit larger solar into your panel itself. 32 breakers, again built to the UL specifications of 67, 916, and 869, and connectivity. We do have, in most scenarios, obviously Ethernet tied into your router is the best way to go. If it's a retrofit project, Wi-Fi is there as well. And then we also have cellular LTE built into every unit at no cost to the homeowner. And really that's there as kind of a redundant backup in case your Wi-Fi goes out. But more importantly, it's for us allows us to send over-the-air updates. So as we get smarter, your panel gets smarter as well. It does work with really any 1-inch off-the-shelf breaker that you pick up at Home Depot, Lowe's, True Value, Ace, wherever you do your shopping, and it'll work with Square D, Eaton, Siemens, and Murray. So really any off-the-shelf breaker that you use can go in there. And it's also built to UL standards to accommodate any combination of those as well. We also work with compatible batteries that give us full integration, Tesla, SolarEdge, LG. Enphase comes out next month. And I'll show a little bit of what that dynamic nature is on the batteries here in just a moment. And the panel itself, and this is the panel in a garage with some battery backup and the EV charger or Span Drive. One thing you'll notice in this picture is that when you open it up, there's LED lighting built right into the unit. So if you're in a dark situation, you don't have to carry this, carry a flashlight to go in there. It's right there built into the unit. The doors are reversible as well. So if you need to move the door from left to right, based on where maybe your meter's situated or where your drive's situated. If you have two units, sometimes folks like to have the doors on either side so they open up like a book. And they can be flush mount and surface mount. So they can be surface mount on the outside. Typically, if it's on the outside of the house, you're going to surface mount it. If it's inside the garage or inside the house, most folks are going to flush mount it around the drywall. And as I mentioned, as this comes into your house, to be able to get that circuit level data and information, we're going to pull all that into an intuitive app. And that app is really where, as a homeowner, you would spend most of your time, with inside the unit itself. So full home monitoring, unlocks visibility, gives you energy insight and data by the circuit level. And then again, it's going to optimize your battery systems to give you more life in that as well. When you open up the app, again, very easy and intuitive. The first thing you're going to see is on the far left, you'll see where it says the Watts residence. And by the way, this is a sample experience you can get into in the app and kind of play with it yourself. And we don't take any information or anything from that. You can actually just download the app and play. But in that situation, you'll see the panel. You're going to be able to see how much, if you have solar, you're going to be able to see how much solar is being produced. The middle piece of that, you're going to see whether, what you're actually pulling from the grid. And then if you've got battery backup, what you're either putting toward the battery or taking from the battery, and how that's all coming into the home. When you're in the app as well, you're going to be able to see it again at the circuit level. So you have different views in regards to that. You can look at it just like your panel. You can look at it by area, but you're going to be able to look at each individual circuit and see exactly how much data you're utilizing. What's really important about that, and not that you're necessarily going to be in it every day, but you're able to, in today's world with increasing energy prices and really instability with the grid, being able to jump into an app, if you see a spike in your bill, and kind of see where your energy is being utilized, I think is very important to most folks today. We kind of laugh about it. It's, you have an absolute ton of diagnostics in cars today. You have it in your phone. You have it in a number of appliances. And this is really the first time that you're going to actually have this kind of analytics and data insight into what is most people's largest bill outside of their mortgage, which is their utilities. And this is going to give you the access, to that information as well. And it's going to give you intelligent home energy control. So a couple, again, as I mentioned earlier, being able to see exactly how your house is utilizing energy is vitally important. And one other feature that's kind of coming into play is anomaly detection. And when you're looking at your large appliances in your house, and I'll take HVAC or your air conditioning as a prime example, what we're able to detect by looking at your energy usage at the circuit level is see if there's an issue with your appliances. And HVAC or your air conditioning is, probably the easiest one to take a look at. As you get into your prime months of using it, you can look at your data over your month and year and see, and usually you're going to have a little bit of fluctuation based on, what you're using there. If you see that, what we call hockey stick up, where you see a 30-40% increase or more of energy usage on that appliance, as an example, that's a great indicator that you probably need to have someone look at that unit. If it's your air conditioning, it could be as simple as you need to clean your coils. It could be that your compressor's having an issue, that unit is having to work twice as hard or harder to be able to maintain the temperatures that you normally see in your house. Being able to repair that unit before it goes out typically is less expensive than replacing the unit. Obviously, much more convenient. The last thing you want to do, particularly if you're in a hot climate during the summer, is have your HVAC go out. A lot of times, I grew up in Texas and having my air conditioning go out. Sometimes that's a week or more to have someone come out, and it could be even longer than that, depending on parts. So having that kind of safety and reliability of being able to have some better indication on what's going on with your appliances can be a great benefit to you. If you're doing battery storage, and we're seeing much more increase on the battery front. So a lot of times we're seeing generators in some areas. It's kind of interesting. We're seeing it combinations even in Texas and Florida, where folks are doing generator and battery to kind of minimize or maximize their energy efficiency and minimize costs. And a lot of times a combination of those work. But if you've got battery backup, and as I mentioned, Tesla, LG, Enphase, Power Chem are the ones where you get full functionality. What happens in an outage situation when you go into battery backup is we're actually going to automatically put your circuits into 3 basic buckets. An essential load, which would obviously be like your refrigerator, depending on the time of year and where you're at, could be your HVAC, could be heat. You've got your non-essential loads. Maybe that's your outdoor lighting. If you're in an outage situation, maybe you're not worried about landscape lights at that point. And then you've got your nice to have loads, and that could be any combination of things that as a homeowner, you're able to kind of designate. And in an outage situation, what's going to happen is all your non-essential circuits will automatically be shut off. And then as the battery starts to drain, it'll, based off the parameters that the homeowner puts in, we'll start to shed the nice to have circuits to maximize the length of time that that battery is able to support truly your safety conditions in your house. And so it's a great way to do that without having to worry about it. I kind of equate it to, again, growing up in Houston and dealing with hurricanes is, I was the battery shedder. We would have a generator outside and dad would go, hey, go plug this in, go unplug that to kind of manage the loads. You're actually able to do all of that in the app on your phone, automatically set up with the parameters. And then as a homeowner, you've got the ability to turn on and off those loads along the way as well, based on what you need in your home at any given time. Go ahead. Ooh. And something didn't come through here.
Is it not up?
It's not up.
Let's see. It's still showing screen sharing. So let me go back. So do you see this page?
Yep, see that?
Okay, this page is showing your charger and the phone. I don't know if this is a dynamic page, but I'm gonna go to the next page just to see if you see this now.
That's perfect. We can actually go right there. That's fine. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the span drive, and that's where we were kind of shifting to. So the span drive is actually our level 2 EV charger. It's the first dynamic charger that's on the market. And what's exciting about that and what is, is that it actually charges based off the available energy that's in your home. And by doing that, per the new NEC codes that are coming out, particularly if you've got a retrofit situation, if you've got an older home and you need to add electric charging to it, being able to add an EV charger to that mix, so you could add the panel plus our charger, and the charger doesn't actually get counted in the load calculations for the house. So there's a couple of great scenarios on that. Let's say you've got a 200 amp service house and you want to add a charger and everything's full there. You can add the charger to it, which typically takes a 60 amp breaker. And you can actually oversubscribe the electric panel with the EV charger. And the reason we're able to do that, it's an accessory to our panel. And really the reason we're able to do that per NEC code is that the charger can actually see exactly, again, at the circuit level, how much energy your house is utilizing. In a number of situations, probably not, you're rarely at the full capacity of the house all the time. And so being able to dynamically charge up and down is significant. So the scenario that is most enjoyable for our customers, you come home at the end of the day, you plug in your vehicle. Let's say everybody's, the bulk of time, everybody's home, kids are home from school, everybody's hanging out, grandkids are home, whatever the situation is, and most of that house is being utilized around that dinner time hour. Well, it'll actually just throttle down the EV charger down to allow for the rest of the house to operate. Once the energy is freed up in the house, maybe it's a dryer and a few other items in the house, it'll actually ramp up the EV charging on the vehicle itself, and then you'll get a full night's charge overnight. What we see a lot of times out in folks' homes is there's not enough education on EV charging. And so what you see a lot of times is, you'll have you'll plug a charger in and maybe you only put a 30 amp circuit in, because that's what fits. And in that situation, you're going to be able to only charge half the time. A level 2 EV charger, just for your knowledge, if you're not aware, at full capacity is going to charge your car at about 42 to 44 miles for every hour it's plugged in. So for most folks, an overnight charge on a level 2 charger, you're going to get a full charge. If you've dropped that down to a 30 amp circuit, as an example, you're only going to get roughly 20 to 25 miles per hour of charge. And that's where people get frustrated. They wake up the next morning, they've got 60% charge on their car. Now they're having to go find a charging station. And so from a homeowner satisfaction standpoint, not exactly ideal situation. Okay, Louis. So again, the specs on the charger itself, it is a universal charger. It uses the standard J1772 connector, which goes to every vehicle except for Tesla. course, Tesla likes to be different, but in the trunk of every Tesla, they come with the J1772 connector. So even Tesla realizes that. Again, it is indoor and outdoor rated, 20-foot cord. Again, connectivity is very easy, with the span panel as an accessory. Go ahead. I mentioned earlier about over-the-air updates, and I think this is another great piece from an energy management system perspective is, as we get better and as we get information from our homeowners, from our partners, as the NEC code changes, we're able to make updates to our panel to account for a lot of that. One of the things that we did actually just already this year is we added off-peak rate charging for our vehicles. So if you're in a market where your electric company has on-peak and off-peak hours, when you plug your vehicle in, you can actually go pick your state, pick your utility provider, pick the rate plan you're on, and then the car is going to automatically charge based off the rate plan you selected on off-peak hours. So again, you don't have to go back and try to schedule something, use a calendar, worry about daylight savings time and not daylight savings time. It'll actually, again, kind of easy to kind of pick it, set it, and not have to worry about it again. That was actually an over-the-air update we released about a month ago. Another over-the-air update that's coming up this year that we're really excited about is Charge by Source. And that's a situation where you're actually able to charge your car directly from your solar, your PV and your solar situation. So being able to charge your car directly off solar is an exciting thing we're excited about. Another thing that's coming out is charge during an outage. And so if you have a situation where you've got a fire, a hurricane, something coming at you that you need to go quickly and you've got battery backup, being able to have a quick charge off your battery backup, at least enough to get you out of harm's way in a quick scenario. We're also looking to be able to charge multiple EVs per panel. Currently, right now, we are limited to one EV charger per panel. We're making those updates in the software this year and hope to have that out here by the end of the year. And so always the question that comes up, and I'm sure it's popped up a couple times in the chat already, is kind of charging and how do you purchase it and what do you do? We really kind of look at, kind of three different distinct offerings when it comes to span. You've got your future prepared, which is you put your panel in and it gives you plug and play integration with your EV chargers, backup, and solar. Anyone that's looking at solar or battery backup resiliency I would say in the next 1 to 5 years, being able to be future prepared is a great way to go. If you're looking for EV charging, then it's the panel plus the drive, and then you've got your ultimate kind of backup scenario where you have your panel plus your drive, again, plus your battery system that's there. One thing I didn't mention on the battery backup piece, by us being able to actually load shed and manage the batteries itself, we see an extra 40% increase in battery backup usage or time. So if you had for simple math, if you had a 10-hour battery, that means that 10-hour battery is going to last probably 14 hours. On just our standard setting it up from a essential, non-essential, and nice to have loads. If you're aggressive with that, we've seen upwards of 70-80% increase. So what's nice about that is if you have if your house you were looking at, you thought you were going to need 2 batteries to back up your house, you might be able to get away with just one based on what you're trying to accomplish. And in that scenario, you're actually going to more than pay for the panel and the drive by the energy savings on your battery itself. So, the ultimate backup part of that does help you, pull that away. I will tell you, from as far as purchasing the unit, we actually sell, through electrical distribution. Your electrician can pick up the unit. Great thing for your electrician that I forgot to mention is it installs just like a standard panel. So when you open up the unit, where the electrician's going to drop the lines onto it is exactly how it is in your standard gray box today. So it installs very much the same way. From a really the only thing that's going to be different is kind of bringing what we call commissioning the product, which is bringing it online. And so, and we do work with your electrician to train them and get them up and running. It's about a 25-minute online course, so very easy to do. And we have mobile apps that the electrician can use as well. We've had such tremendous growth last year. We actually grew a fivefold last year. So we've actually had to open up a second manufacturing facility. Our EV chargers actually manufactured in Fremont, California. We had to open up a larger facility for our span panel itself. That's currently manufactured in Tijuana, Mexico, shipped out of San Diego. And right now we're about from a supply chain management, because that's been a hot topic in our side of the business for the last couple years, is we're about 2 to 3 weeks out. So we've got great supply on that, and we're expected to have another growth of 5 times again this year. So that'll give you some basic information there. You guys, and the other thing too, and I mentioned this earlier, download the app. Probably the best thing to do is to kind of play with it a little bit. It gives you a lot of information in regards to how the app actually plays and works with. You'll see it's extremely intuitive. If you download the app, at the bottom of it is the app that the homeowner would normally work in. At the bottom of the app, there's 2 different scenarios that you can play in. Again, we don't ask for any of your information. So we're not going to ask you to register, give us your firstborn's name. You literally could go in, download the app, and play in the test environment, and you can really kind of get a great feel for what our product is. Appreciate it. Like I said, if there, again, my contact information, please feel free to screenshot that, shoot me any information. Happy to get, answer any questions you have, or jump on another call as well.
So Shawn, just a few questions on here. I think you've answered them. One from Patricia: do you work with solar companies? And it sounds like yes, you do.
We do. We work with solar companies all over the country, and they work with us. Most of those guys are very, very happy with us. It's a very synergistic relationship.
And then where it's produced, you just mentioned where it's Fremont, California, along with Tijuana, distributed out of San Diego. What's the cost of this upgrade from the standard breaker box that like most homes have today? And first off, I mean, this is something that can be retrofitted, correct?
It is, and in fact, this is actually our 2nd generation product. We came out in the market initially from a retrofit need, and so absolutely, it's very easy to retrofit. In fact,
and in essence, you can take those same circuit breakers that were in the existing box and transfer them over to the new box, correct?
Absolutely, you sure can.
Okay, and then a question here from Shari Gold, that is, if it's ordered, is installation included, or can it be added? I'm guessing the installation has to be done by a local electrician because they're on top of the electric code that's pertinent to their area.
That's correct, Louis. So we'll work with your local electricians in your area. Again, we're in national distribution through Rexel, CED, Green Tech Renewables, Sonepar, really City Electric, so and a number of independent distributors in your area as well. So, and your electrician would just purchase the unit through them and be able to install it for you.
All right, and then Shari McPeek had if you want to look at the chat that Shari has with Mary Wisman about Neoloop, there's that. Can we have our electricians contact you for info? I'm guessing that's probably correct.
Absolutely. Happy. That would be great.
And the website is, Danny put up here, is span.io. It's one of those unusual suffixes on internet sites like .institute.
Yep.
Cool. Well, Shawn, thank you. I appreciate your time. I've learned a lot, even though I knew a lot about your product, but I learned even more now. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm just going to go quickly. I don't want to go too far past the top of the hour. The links for the below community forums that are on here will be on our website soon, and also be in upcoming newsletters. April, we're excited to have both Toto Toilets and Quick Drain USA. If you're not familiar with Toto, obviously they're big in regards to personal hygiene bidet seats. Their trade name for them are washlets. They're amazing products. And then Quick Drain makes curbless shower pans along with linear drains. In May, we've got Hunter Douglas winter coverings. They're going to be talking a lot about their motorized ones that help people live in place, make it so that it's easy to be able to have the blinds go up and down, along with auto slide door openers. These are for not only sliding doors, but also for hinge doors. In June, we've got Josh.ai. This is a smart system controller along with Swidget. Be interesting to have two smart component companies in this one at the same time. We talked a little bit about Swidget earlier today. And then the July and other future community forums, we're in the process of getting those scheduled. But all of our forums are at 10 a.m. Eastern time on the second Wednesday of the month, and they're all recorded. So if you can't make them, just look up on the newsletter and our website as to ones that are coming in the future. So with that, I've got a few more minutes to the top of the hour. If anybody has any other questions they want to pipe in on. But I, again, want to thank Shari McPeek from Rev-A-Shelf. I love working with you. I love your products. And Shawn, I thank you, Shawn Sommers of Span.io. Amazing stuff. I'm looking forward to even more information about your product. It should be a really neat thing. So I'm just going to stop screen sharing here. And I'm going to open up. So if people want to ask them direct questions, unmute yourself, go for it. And I see somebody here, Carol Chang, who I met at KBIS IBS. She's an occupational therapist. She does some amazing things, and I think she's probably pretty interested in both the products we talked about today. If there are no other questions, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for everybody for being here today, but we'll stay aboard for a little while after this so that you can ask questions if you want to. So let me get here, stop recording.